Hey guys, my name is Esther Shay and welcome back to another video about the life of a teacher in Dubai. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I'd recommend you go and watch those one first because this one is going to be very much so talking about everything in like breadth rather than depth. So I'd recommend you guys go watch that for like a real in-depth discussion of what the reality of teaching is like in Dubai. This is going to be all the frequently asked questions. I'll touch upon 4 different topics because I'm a teacher. They're like, classify it. So topic 1 is going to be like getting a job in Dubai, like how you actually get a job in Dubai. Second one's going to be more so like the classroom culture, what's it like actually in the classroom, and how it made different from my perspective of like teaching in the UK. The third one's going to be like the work environment, like what the working life is like as a teacher here in Dubai. And the final one's going to be like the lifestyle, like and like miscellaneous things, like the lifestyle of a teacher. Like how is my life different here as opposed to what it was when I was living in the United Kingdom? So yeah, guys, grab a cuppa or like, grab a notepad, grab a pen, because we have a lot to dish out. So, number 1, people always ask me, how do I get a job as a teacher in Dubai? And I just kind of say to them, it's the same way you get a job back in your home country. You look on wherever you find jobs for teachers, whether it be on school websites, whether it be on like job advertisement boards. You literally look there, you apply for the school type of school you want, and then bish bash bosh. Do you know what I mean? I found my job on this website called Tez. Tez is a great website. It has jobs from literally all around the world. I didn't apply via Tez. My job specifically wanted you to email them your CV and like a brief statement as to like your philosophy in education. So I did all of that, and then I got my job. So and this kind of applies to when people ask about how do I get any job in Dubai. Like, the same way you get your job back home, it's the same here. Like, if I want to change jobs, I would simply also look on like a job comparison, it's like Indeed or LinkedIn or something. It's the exact same. This place isn't crazy. Another question I frequently get is, do you need teaching experience to work in Dubai? I'm gonna say, in order to be placed in a school, a good school, and in order to be paid what you're going to work, I would say come with experience for sure. I'm not gonna put a number on it because I personally had 2 or 3 years. I had 3 years experience, I think, before I moved out here. And I think, to be honest, that experience was crucial, not just in like type of school I'm in, not just in like the how much I'm paid, but because if I'm honest, I think my training and then my experience after my training solidified me for the craziness that is this place. So I feel like people who come here who are ECTs, or what's the NQTs it used to be called, people who come in fresh after like finishing their teacher training, fair. I couldn't do it personally. I feel like I needed my solid foundation, which is in the UK, before I came out here. So I would just recommend get your experience first. Some people say what qualifications are required. Again, similar to what probably is for you back home. For me personally, I have my degree. So my degree in my subject. Some schools want you to have a degree in the subject you're going to teach. Some schools don't. Math don't care as much. Equally, I did my PGCE, so that qualified me for international teaching as well. And with my PGCE, I also got my QTS, I qualified for teacher status. So all of that came through my 1-year training and my 2 years ECT that I did before I moved to Dubai. How much can you earn without saying my salary? But guys, when I say this place varies, it varies. If you're from the UK, you'll understand that in the UK, there's like the pay structure, the pay scales. That doesn't exist here. Teaching here is a private business, essentially. What a lot of teaching is a private business. So there isn't any like national or like public pay scales. It really just depends on your school. Non-profit schools do pay better than sometimes for-profit schools, but I've heard salaries anywhere from 9,000 all the way up to 18,000. Like I'm not exaggerating right here. I It varies. I can't answer that. It varies. Do the schools provide housing? Again, it depends on your school. Some schools provide accommodation, like what I'm in right now. It's fabulous. Some schools provide a housing allowance, so it's like in a certain amount. So somewhere from like 60,000 up dirhams, and they give you that with your monthly pay. So split it into 12 and give you monthly pay, and you can use that to pay for your accommodation as well. Someone asks, how competitive is it to get a job? I would say the competition is on the up as Dubai is becoming more and more and more popular. Schools are becoming pickier, obviously, naturally, and with that, I think pay is also stagnate is not progressing as it should do. Um, well, I guess if you have a huge influx of people wanting to come and live and teach in this country, then why would you increase the pay? I guess so. Yeah. Someone said, how long is a typical contract? I would say initial contracts oftentimes are 2 years. I've heard like a rare 1 year one. But initial contracts usually are 2 years. And then after that, you give them you tell them if you want to renew or not. And you stay or you leave, up to you. You can leave early in your contract, but you just get some benefits capped, or you don't get like summer pay or something like that. The notice period is a lot different to the UK. I would have to tell my school, if I wanna leave and leave with all my benefits, like my end of year bonus, then I would have to tell my school by January 26th, and the last day of school is the 3rd of July, so the notice period is a lot. Let me just say something about the bonus. When I came and I heard a bonus, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get a bonus, that's amazing. I don't get bonuses in the UK." Let me tell the bonuses are based on your basic salary. So you get your pay slip every month. Your it 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 all comes together to create your salary. No, hold on, wait with me, bear with me. What I mean by that is that it is split between like your basic salary, your housing allowance, if you get that, you get like a transport allowance, you get like a what's it called, like an extra time allowance or like a carb allowance. All of those things come together to make up, let's say, your 15,000 a month, right? And then what your bonus is, however, based on is your basic salary. So don't think you're gonna get like, oh, 2 months was like 30K. No, you only get that of your basic salary. Your basic salary is usually, not that. Anyway, before I get in trouble. Some other questions was is that are professional development opportunities available? I would say they are available and more. My goodness gracious me, this country loves a bit of CPD. I think it's very beneficial in the sense that it's training everyone up to a certain standard. And I think because there are so many teachers in from so many different countries, when it comes to teaching skills or teaching methods, we're sort of like got loads of different ideas. So it's good to have loads of CPD sort of like balance us, which I think is good. Um, I also think that there's a lot more emphasis on seeing teaching as like a serious profession here. Um, in the sense that there's a lot of conferences, like teacher conferences, a lot of like teacher meetups and so forth. That whereas back in the UK, it felt more so like I'm a teacher, I teach in my school, I teach in my department, that's it. But it's taken a bit like quite seriously. It's kind of it's really something. So that was category one, blasted through that. But guys, if you have any other questions, please do message me on Instagram, esther.olusheyi. Please either email me, my email's in my bio as well. How else can you get through to me? I think that's it really. Comment. Obviously, you can just comment below. It's a good idea. All right, topic two, students in classroom life. I want to preface this by saying um, kids are kids. Like, don't think just because they're in they're in Dubai, living in UAE, they're gonna be different. Or like a kid is like kids are kids. As you know, but one thing that moving here has taught me is like kids are just gonna be kids. So someone asks, are students more disciplined than back home? I'm gonna assume home is the UK. I'm gonna say again, the same way it the same way it varies in the UK is the same way it varies here. A lot of it's just school dependent. Um, I have no problems with behavior in my school whatsoever. But I had no problems with behavior in my school in the UK either. So it was just, it's just, it depends. Everything depends. It depends on the school you're at. It depends on the type of teacher you are. Everything depends. But I don't see any major differences in behavior between these kids and the previous kids. I would say kids here have a lot more greater world knowledge. It's amazing. Like I would have like some like year seven kids making like political jokes. I'm like, oh my gosh, some of my year seven kids in the UK wouldn't even know who the president of the United States is. Whereas this one is making like I shouldn't. Yeah, they're making jokes. Do you know what I mean? Because they are likely to be a lot more wealthy than the kids from back home. They are frequently more well traveled. Like sometimes it'll be like coming up to half term, whatever break, and I'll say to the kids, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? "Oh, I'm going to the Maldives. Oh, I'm going skiing in Azerbaijan. Oh, I'm doing da, da, da." Oh, amazing, guys! When I came to the F1, I'm an F1 fan. Yeah, I had tickets to like the Abu Dhabi Hill, which are like the cheapest tickets. And some of the kids telling me, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the main grandstand," which like the most expensive seats. I was like, "Ah, I love that for you." Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that is the only way I think these kids are different. But like when it comes to school and education, it's the same, man. It's the same. Um, is the curriculum harder than back home? Once again, completely depends where you are. I actually, when I didn't go for a British curriculum school, I wanted to just, change up my life, and I picked an IB school. So I now teach the IB curriculum. I haven't taught the British curriculum in like a year and a half. Very different, but that's a whole different topic. IB versus British curriculum. But yeah. Are students fluent in English? In my school, yes. Levels of ESL's English as a second language do vary. But a lot of kids here, like sometimes when I tell people I teach English here, they think, "Oh, you're teaching to like kids who speak Arabic." Really, like it's not that many kids speak Arabic in these international schools. Do you know what I mean? Like English is the mode of communication here. Someone said, "How involved are the parents?" Now, let me not say too much, or I'll come and lose my job. But they are involved. And I get it though. I fully get it. They're paying for a service. At the end of the day, I need to provide a service to them because they're paying for a service. So that's all I'm gonna say. Do teachers get the summers off? Like, yeah, 100%. Of course we do. You know, the breaks are different. Right now, guys, I am on a 4-week Christmas break. That is like what, 2 weeks shorter than summer. It's insane. But one thing about Dubai is that change is gonna happen so easily. It was during August, so during the summer break, that the KHDA, which like the KHDA, like let's say Ofsted, if you don't know what Ofsted is, they're like a regulating body for schools, private schools in Dubai. KHDA changed the term dates, wanted all private schools to align and have the same term dates essentially. And they made that change sort of during summer. Fine. But that then meant that we had to change a lot of things for our school academic year because obviously things were put into place before summer. Equally, because yeah, so they changed their dates and then has now left us with a 4-week Christmas break, which hey, I'm not gonna complain about. However, we don't get a half term in like February times. So yeah. We do have Ramadan. And Ramadan, if you are not a Muslim, essentially a break, a 30-day fasting for Muslims. If you like, for example, I'm not a Muslim, so that means I just teach like reduced hours during the school days. So last year I think it was like 8 till 1 or something like that. So while we don't have half term, at least we do have those reduced work days. Moreover, on top of that, every Friday, school finishes at 12 to give time for the afternoon prayers for the Muslims, the Muslim students and Muslim staff. Um, However, literally announced like last week or the week before, it's now the times are changing and now school needs to finish at 11:30 on Fridays, which is absolutely insane. Like lots of things can change throughout the year. So one thing I will warn you about is just be prepared to change because change will come frequently and quickly. Um, I think that was it for these ones. Someone said, our students more mature than back home. I kind of said, kids are kids, but they do have a bit of a greater world knowledge, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, that's topic 2. Done. Okay, topic 3, work environment and culture. Once again, guys, I would like to keep my job, so I'm going to just, yeah. Someone says, what's the work culture like? Fast paced. It's quick, things change, but if you're not someone who's not adaptable, and I said this in my reality of teaching video, if you're not someone who's not adaptable and flexible to change, just save yourself. Don't come to Dubai because this place is fast, it's quick. But what I do like about it is the fact that it is something that in my school anyway, there's a lot more emphasis on like enjoyment and like building a personal relationship with students and so forth, as opposed to just being school, education, learn. Don't get me wrong. That is definitely important and the data is definitely important. But at the end of the day, it still really emphasizes on students to enjoy themselves and have a good time once they're in school. So that is one thing. Um, what's the biggest culture shock? I would say the culture shock was understanding or seeing that schools in Dubai definitely feels a bit more corporate and it definitely feels a bit more business focused than back in the UK. I feel less like so much like a teacher here and more so as like okay, I do still feel like a teacher, but I feel more like maybe like a professor. I don't know how to explain it. I still obviously feel like a teacher. I just feel like I have other roles as well. I feel like also like a stakeholder in the school as well. So I feel like I also need to make sure the school does well and the school is, reaching the results that it can acquire and it deserves, rather than just teaching and just, putting all the onus on the students. There's a lot of onus on us as teachers as well. So I think that's how I'm gonna phrase it from now on. I'm not just a teacher, I'm also a stakeholder. Yes. Um, our schools are high tech. Again, it depends on schools. Some of my friends are getting MacBooks, iPads, and so forth. I'm not getting that, but it's okay. I don't need it. Um, some schools are high tech, some schools aren't. Again, just like the UK, some have better provisions, some don't. And maybe it can even vary by departments as well. Maybe there's a department that really needs, again, just like back home, everything varies. I think that's all the questions I've got for category three. For three. The teachers get free perks like tickets to events. So again, because the schools are a bit more corporate, they often do have a bit more like corporate like party like things. Like we have an end of year party, we had a year to celebrate, had a party to celebrate 20 years, we had a year, had a party to celebrate like the new term and stuff like that. A lot more like corporate perks. And they do some like prizes where like, oh, enter raffles, like win an iPhone and stuff like that. So it definitely gives a lot more benefits. I loved, loved, loved my previous school in the UK, but the most benefits I got was a donut. And I'm not trying to say this to bash my school. If you know me, you know I loved, loved my previous school, but I need more than a donut to get my wheels oiled. All right, last but not least, the lifestyle and miscellaneous. Number someone said, what is the dress code? It definitely is conservative. Do have your shoulders covered. Again, that's kind of like the UK as well. But I just think there is even more of an emphasis on just like looking professional and looking good and so forth. Like, yeah, it's nothing crazy. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. I thought I'm gonna have like dress in blazers and like suits and ties, stuff like that. It isn't like that. That's all right. How easy is it to make friends as a teacher? Do you know what? I think if you're coming to Dubai and you're a teacher, you are actually blessed because I think that this job is a job that sort of forces you into community, especially with your fellow colleagues. So it gives you that opportunity to make friends. Whereas other jobs, for example, this maybe more corporate job, they're not it's not emphasized on so much of a community as like teaching is. So I just want to say it like in a clear way. If you're a teacher, you will make teacher friends. This is a teacher brunches as well, teacher discounts on this, teacher discounts on that. But I would just say to you, do not just befriend teachers, like expand your horizons, please. Um how intense is teaching Dubai? Like I said, it's very fast paced, but it's quite rewarding. You do see some kids go on to some amazing stuff. Like some of the kids, like some of the things they do outside of school, you're like, wow. It makes you think of the kids back in the UK. I'm like, y'all did not do a thing. Like, wow. I've got kids like volunteering for this and when this club is doing this, and that is the norm. I love how in this country, or in my school anyway, it is the norm to do well and it is good to want to succeed. Like if you're not doing well, it's like, ooh. So that's nice, I guess. Do schools provide lunches for teachers? Yeah, not in my school personally. When I taught in a private school in Madrid, I had lunch provided, and I thought that's going to be the same here. A lot of people order though. The ordering culture here in Dubai is crazy, absolutely wild. What is the extracurricular life like? So in my school anyway, you as a teacher, you need to join or you need to run an extracurricular club. Last year I did a Formula One society. This year I'm doing an AI society because I am the lead of AI in my school. I'll talk more about that in a second. I should talk about that. Um, so yeah, you do during extracurricular activities in my school anyway, and it's an emphasis on that. And yeah, that's what I said. I feel not just a teacher. I don't just really go in to teach. I have to do so much more as well. So let's talk about the other bits. I should have said this maybe in about like, the work culture and environment. There is really, really good opportunities to progress here because Dubai is so transient. There's always people coming in and people going out. Jobs come and jobs go as well. So it really is something like you can definitely work your way up the ladder if you work hard to that. So literally last year, me being maybe like less than a month into the school, there was like an AI conference that some of the teachers in the school were going to. I literally went along with them. From there, I joined the AI team. So it's a team to improve or increase the use of AI within the school, ethically, of course. And then the person who's leading that stepped down. I put myself forward. I had to do an interview. I had to do a presentation, all that stuff. And I was very successful. I got the job. So, and that was me like what 1 year into the country, 1 year into the job. So I would say there definitely are opportunities to progress. You just need to put yourself in those opportunities. If you're going to be just like one of those teachers who just sit back and just think, yeah, I'm just here to do my job, again, you will have a decent life here. You just won't progress. No one wants that. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that, you know? But Dubai might push you to do that because I have never been such a workaholic as I have here. And not just for teaching, but that's for another day. But guys, that was all the FAQs. If you have any other questions, I will happily do a part 2 of this video. But do comment below. Do message me if you want to message me on Instagram, esther.olusheyi. Message me on TikTok, esther.olusheyi. Email me, it's .estheroluseyi@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. If you're coming to Dubai, though, let me just like be serious for a second. It really, really is a good thing. I think my life has changed from 100% coming to Dubai for the better. And I think it's put me in so many situations I never would have found myself back in the UK. And I think that it was definitely God ordained. I'm a Christian. I believe that all of this is from God. And I really believe that, this is the place that I was supposed to be right now. Whether you're Christian or not Christian, I'm just going to say to you, before you make the decision to come to Dubai, it is not from everyone. It is not for everyone. Pray about it, sit with yourself, watch more videos from many other people who create this or who create videos about living and teaching Dubai and think, is this a place I want to go? It is not all glitz and glam. It can be very, very treacherous sometimes in this sandpit that people call Dubai. But yeah, on a whole, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. And catch you next time.